All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Baqar, Kodash. Double honors to our venerable apostles and elders at Great Millstone who were well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, so brothers from Men of Valor, the brother Aharan, and the brother
Baqar.
All right, and today, through the Spirit, we wanted to touch on a few things pertaining to prophecy. All right, and as we waiting for the mandatory implementation of the MOTB, we're also watching closely, all right, around the world and also here in America to watch out for those signs. Right now, one of the major signs that we are waiting for is the famine of the word. Right now, of course, if you're of the hopeful elect, you're going to be watching everything closely and tying things together. Right now, we were talking about how this guy goes by the name Brother Hassad, formerly of the Sakari, all right, and he approached the brothers from I believe is it South Carolina, North Carolina, right? The elder Hawad and his brothers out there. Okay, and he was told plain outright and simple, yo, you got to go out there and look up the videos and watch it and try to get the understanding of it. We're not about to break down the same precepts over and over and over again. Pretty much the same sentiments that was echoed to vocab, right? That if you're going to come up here and ask the same questions, the only answer you're going to get is go up and look it up. So today, through the Spirit, the elders and apostles were going into videos on going out to the sellers and buy, right? And that's a huge sign, because going back to the parable of the 5 virgins, the 10 virgins, 5 being wise and 5 being foolish, we're starting to see the signs of the foolish virgins coming to the wise virgins to come and buy out their oil, right? Give us some of your oil. Oh, I need the understanding. That's why I'm here to ask you. That's basically what he's doing, right? And that's a huge sign that the famine of the word is fast approaching, because it's not just him. This is just a tone setter that the Lord is putting out there for everybody else, because we're at crunch time where people are going to start looking and inquiring directions from the men of the Lord. And that's the time where scripture says, they shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. So now you're coming to the prophets, all right, outright just coming straight up to the camps. And what are you getting? You're getting, you go up and look for it online. If it's there, you can find it. If not, you're screwed. Or we're going to call the cops on you if you keep persisting, right? So that's the spirit that the Lord is putting on us now. It used to be, you come up, you ask your questions, you get your questions answered if you're sincere. But now it's not. You just turn around and leave. If we're talking about something else and you come up with your BS questions that has already been answered, you're gonna be turned away, or you're gonna get the cops called on you.
Yeah,
and
that's not good.
You good.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, because if you think about it, right, like, what questions do you have that are so important that you couldn't get answered via all the videos that have been done by all the various brothers? And number 2, why not just ask on the comment board?
Mm-hmm.
If there's still something in particular you didn't understand, why not ask on the comment board? But it almost sounds as though that spirit of debating,
right,
is what's trying to be pushed here, where it's like, I want to come and ask live and direct, not because I want to know the answer to it, but because I want to hear your response, so that we can go back and forth here. Right. So pretty much, if you won't come on my platform to debate with me, I'll just come to where you are, and I'll just draw you into it by asking these questions here. Right. But like you said, at the end of the day, man, the Spirit of the Lord is upon us now, to where we're not in that mindset of having that patience for them. Mm-hmm. Because now, why do you think we do so many lessons? Mm-hmm. We make sure to cover all aspects of the scriptures, all everything it is. And I think a part of the frustration, from the elders and brothers, is that when in the beginning, brothers were, open. Right. Very friendly and willing to help you sincerely, thinking that you sincerely needed answers. Right. But it's like, as time goes on, based on the way you're responding, it's as though that's not really your intention there. Mm-hmm. And if that's not the case, then we're gonna move on to others who sincerely need the answers. Right. And another thing is, man, when the famine of the word comes, as we're about to read here, a lot of these cheerleaders, because you've seen a whole lot of them, mm-hmm, they'll come on the comment board and they don't do any works, they don't do any lessons, they don't do anything. They just come on the comment board always with this peace. Why don't y'all talk to this guy? Right. What if the cops came and they shoot him or something? Right. That's not going to be on us. That's judgment from the Heavenly Father if that happens. That's it. But the Most High, how about you worry about you? Right. You should be afraid that if you're an able-bodied individual who understands His word and you're not doing anything to contribute to it, what's the Most High going to do to you?
What's your covering?
What's your covering? That's what you should be worried about, because when all hell breaks loose, all your brownie points that you're trying to gain, that's not going to do anything for you. It won't feed you in a famine. It won't protect you from martial law. You're going to be asked out. You're going to ask the Lord for something. He's going to look at you like, what have you done?
Right.
Who the hell are you?
Who are you? Right. Depart from me, for I never knew you.
Right.
Right. And that's the vibration that the Lord is putting upon the earth right now. You know, it starts from those who know, and then it extends to those who don't know, who could have known, but they chose not to know. You know, because ultimately the Lord put that spirit on them because He doesn't want them from the jump. You know what I mean? But let's get this quick precept here. This is the book of Amos, chapter 8 and verse 11. It says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai." Right? So that's the times that we're coming into, where you're not going to get the access, all right, to the information, the true understanding of the Bible, which is served up by starting from our elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down. Right? Soon that access is going to be denied. Okay? Not only are you not going to find it on the internet, right, predominantly on YouTube, okay, because of all these new TOS, terms of services and so on and so forth, that are going to be kicking in the next few months, right before election time. They're saying that they're going to have to start monitoring a lot of these social media platforms who are spreading so-called misinformation and so-called people who might be trying to manipulate or mess up with the elections and so on and so forth. So there's going to be heavy scrutiny on the kind of information that we even going to be able to put out. Right? You doing a video and they'll say, "Oh, misinformation. Oh, you said this word. Oh, da." That's all part of the famine. But the biggest part of it is you not getting access to it, whether it's you can't find it or whether you just can't see us or find us at all. You know what I'm saying? So that's the times that we're coming in, and the Lord is setting the tone. Okay. Now we have an article, all right, which we're gonna jump into real quick, and it's going into Donald J. Trump and what he's gonna be doing potentially when he becomes so-called president. Now we all believe through the spirit that he might be the last president to take this place up out of here, right? But who knows how things are going to play out? You know, they're setting the stage up for a nice civil war anyway. You know what I mean? They're setting up the stage for martial law and all that. So we know how Trump gets down. You know what I mean? Even in a time of peace, you saw how he was running things. Right. So how much more in a time of war if he becomes a wartime president? Right? You know what's going to happen. You know how many people are going to be rounded up. All these different things in the name of law and order. He pushes that a lot. All right, so we're gonna see how things are gonna play out, but they're pushing a very interesting narrative, which we're gonna go into, which is coming at Christians. Right now, you saw what happened with the whole Olympics thing. Right, they had the whole mockery of Christians and mockery of the Lord. Right, the Last Supper and so on and so forth, to the point where they're saying that the backlash was so crazy that a lot of these companies, private companies that were advertising, they pulled their advertising away from the Olympics because of that, right? Because of a lot of people waking up like, "Yo, what's going on?" But that's also a test, right? They're testing the pulse of the people. How they're going to react if we make this bold,
step forward,
exactly, into wickedness. How are people going to take that? Are they going to just sit back and be like, "Oh, these people, here we go again," or are they going to stand up and start actually pushing back, right? And either way, they have accounted for it. Right, but we're gonna read this real quick.
Yeah, and also I was gonna say, when you based on what you said about Trump, when you look at, like, for example, ancient Rome, right, something that would happen is you would have the normal means of the people in the Senate appointing the next consul, or in this case the next emperor.
Right.
But eventually, or also you would have certain cases where you had the Praetorian Guard, or you would have certain troops who would themselves forcefully become
Caesars.
Yeah. Yep. And you would have certain troops that would forcefully place their leader as emperor.
Yep.
Like what happened with Vespasian, where they declared him emperor, I think, in Egypt, and then he went back to Rome because there was a civil war, and he went there to basically take it over. And at that point, the side that wins the civil war is the side that becomes the dominant, the ruler.
That's it.
And so, whatever it is, whatever angle they're trying to go from, who knows? Maybe everybody thinks Trump is going to win, and then they try to pull some shit and try to make Kamala win to really trigger people,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But like you said, it can go a lot of ways.
Right.
The point is, this guy Trump is definitely throwing out subliminals,
Mm-hmm.
and both covertly and overtly
Yep.
about what his true intentions are.
Right.
If he comes up in there.
Right. So we're gonna see, man. But hey, like the scripture says, that watch as well as pray, and be not ignorant of any matter, small or great. So we don't take anything lightly.
Right.
You know, remember, Esau does not come out and just say things, because the Lord is the one who puts a spirit on them to say these things. Right? Psalms the 64th chapter, that he shall make their tongue to fall upon themselves. So they come out openly and say these things, and it goes over people's heads.
Right.
You know, they don't see the real danger and threat behind these words. But remember, his words were smoother than butter. The war was in his heart. All right. So let's read. It says, and there's a poem that Trump actually gave, which was about the snake, right? And then he mentioned how, you know, the woman took in this snake, and the snake finally bit her. And then when she said, "Oh my goodness, like I helped you, I took you in, you know, I nurtured you, I gave you food, I gave you shelter, and you turn around and you bite me," and the snake's answer was, "Oh, shut up, you silly, or you stupid, foolish woman. You knew I was a snake before you took me in." Right? So it's like, you know me, you know my nature, you know what I'm about. So
sounds like a story in the book.
Yeah.
The snake was in trouble.
Yep.
And But it was a different creature. Right?
Yeah. You know, but he's putting it out. These are subliminals.
Yep.
You knew what I'm about, and you still accepted me in.
Well, you got to ask yourself, right? Like, when you as an individual, before you say anything, there's always a cause.
Right.
Somebody talks about something that triggers you, you talk about it, right? So before you say something, you're thinking about it.
Right.
So ask yourself, why would Trump say something like this? Of all poems you could have selected, why this one? And so if we're just being delusional, he has no ideas, no ambitions of going in this direction, why a poem like this?
Right.
What does a poem actually mean?
Right.
When somebody tells you a story about a woman who takes in,
That's a spirit.
takes in a serpent, she gets hurt, and the serpent tells her, "You knew I was a serpent."
Right.
Why would anybody reference a poem like that unless they're trying to convey a message similar to what's in the poem?
There you go.
So you got to ask yourself that, like, it's not by coincidence, because you don't say things by coincidence. You think about what you say before you say it, right?
Right. So yeah, man, we're gonna see. We're gonna see, man. But let's read. It says, media meltdown after Trump tells crowd of Christians they won't have to vote again because we'll have it fixed. Right. And I remember watching the actual speech that he gave. All right. He says it outright, you know. But let's read. It says, Donald Trump has been branded a dictator after telling a crowd of Christians they won't have to vote again after the U.S. election because in 4 years, quote, we will have it fixed so good, end quote. All right, now, whatever that means, we don't know. All right, but we do have an idea.
Who's we?
Exactly. We as in those who know, right? The prophets of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai pertain to Amos 3 and 7, that surely the Lord God will do nothing but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. Right? So we have an idea of what is about to take place very soon pertaining to prophecy. Now, the specifics as to when something may happen or who specifically will carry out certain things, you might not know too much until you get there. But at least you know that, yes, this is the plan, this is what's going to happen. Also, today, I found out that he said he's going to back so-called cryptocurrency, which when you go into cryptocurrency, it's literally going into the CBDC. Okay? Crypto is a hidden currency. Hidden currency is not physical. That means it's a cashless society. That's what he's pushing.
But it's interesting because then he openly says that there will not be a CBDC implemented if he becomes president.
Exactly. It's all
that's just Revelation 13. I forgot the exact verse, maybe 12, about speaking as a lamb.
Right.
That's to get the people.
Yep.
Like, oh, he's for us.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He's against the agenda.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So continuing in the article, it says, the former president who will face Kamala Harris in this November's race for the White House was speaking at an event organized by the conservative group Turning Point Action in Florida. Yes, it says, he said, quote, Christians, get out and vote. Just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years. You know what? It will be fixed. It will be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. What the fuck? Right? What about the Muslims?
Yeah, right.
What about the Buddhists? What about the atheists? What about them? Why are you focused on the Christians?
Right.
especially in the wake of all this Olympic stuff going on, mocking Christians and your faith and so on and so forth. What's going on with that? This is, again, all year long, we've been seeing, even last year, we've been seeing legislations being passed specifically targeting the Bible and Christians and so on and so forth. So for him to come out and specifically say, my beautiful Christians, your beautiful Christians, what does that even mean?
Oh, and there's some people who believe that there are certain scriptures that are prophetically referring to him, but in the sense of him being like the liberator for Israel or something
Right.
like that.
He'd be the chosen one.
Yeah, the chosen one. I remember a while back, some people were like really pushing that and everything. So it's also interesting to keep in mind.
And he said it. He said he's not Christian. He's not Christian. So he practices Talmudism because he was anointed by the Jays, the rabbis out there. The Talmudi. So he's into all that. He believes in Israel and them being the God's people and all that extra stuff. So Christians really are not liked by so-called Jays anyway. They teach it in their books all the time to their children. They treat Christians like so-called Christians like shit. Call them goyim, right? So continuing, it says Trump added, quote, "I love you Christians. I'm not a Christian. I love you. Get out. You gotta get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good, you're not going to have to vote." What does that mean? And hey, we know, Lord willing, we're not here, but within the next 4 years, we could definitely see the end of this place. Right? With the way things are going, shit, way before 4 years, Lord willing, things gonna pick up where we could be out of here. Right. We see the destruction of this place. So, things are lining up nicely for the time of Jacob's trouble like we've been waiting for. All right, and that in and of itself is a time period that's gonna be like no other. And with that time is where we're gonna see all the end time prophecies take place. What's written in 2nd Ezra, what's written in Jeremiah, what's written in Isaiah, what's written in Revelation, all these different books. All right, 1 Peter, 2nd Peter, Thessalonians, Corinthians, Romans, you name it. Okay, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, all the other prophets and apostles and disciples, and every word that they put out there in regards to the end is here. All right, and we're gonna finally get to see all these things. All right, as it says in the book of Psalm, that only with thine eyes shall you behold the reward of the wicked. Right, so we're entering into those times. It says it was not immediately clear what he meant by the remarks, and Trump has not responded to requests for clarification of them. It says, but they come during a campaign in which the Democrats accuse him of being a threat to democracy following his attempt to overturn his 2020 loss to President Joe Biden. That effort culminated in the deadly January 6th, It says, in an interview with Fox News in December, Trump said that if he won the November 5th election, he would be a dictator. See, he's saying it. He will be a dictator, but only on day one. What does that mean? You mean starting on day one? You know what I'm saying? It says to close the southern border with Mexico and expand oil drilling.
But does it take only one day to do that?
So he's basically saying that, look, day one, you guys are going to have to anoint me dictator or king because I'm not going nowhere. Right? You talk about, that's why he said the Christians, you're not going to have to vote in 4 years because there'll be no need for you to vote. Right? Nero is about to show his horns. Remember, once again, the Christians. This is all signs that you need to know.
Yeah, Nero, the Christians.
There you go. He's back again, specifically harping on the Christians. And guess what? Like he never left. And when this shit goes down, who's he going to blame? Those damn Christians again. All right? There's damn Christians, man. What did he say? He said when he comes into power, he's going to make it basically illegal to speak against the Jays. All right? So anti-Semitism is going to be a crime punishable by death, okay, of the guillotine. All right, so we already know, man. We lining everything up, ready to go. All right, ready to go, and that's why the Lord is closing up the breaches. All right, you had this whole controversy a couple of years ago with the whole affiliates and all that. The Lord used it as a sifting to weed out all the phonies who were trying to. Couple of weeks ago, yeah. What did I say? Months?
Years.
Oh, years? Oh shit. A couple of weeks ago, the Lord is using that as a sifting tool, right? And He's fine tuning those that He's gonna keep his cluster, all right. So continuing, it says, Trump has since said the remarks were a joke. Yeah, right. Jamie Harrison wrote on X, formerly known as Twitter, the crazed ramblings from the dictator on day one. He's fixing it so you won't have to vote again. You like your freedom? You sure as hell better be ready to protect it. Get registered and voted.
What's her name? Rachel Maddow. She was also this is some time back. She was basically saying she's afraid if Trump becomes president because he's gonna round her up and her friends and everybody like that and throw them into sea camps. Is there a car from? No, yeah, it's a car. Okay. They're gonna round them up and throw them into sea camps. And she said it ain't gonna stop at her. You know, it's gonna be pretty much anybody else that's of that same or similar mindset.
Yep. So that's a tone setter right there to let you know that when he comes in, if and when he comes in, it's gonna be straight up law and order running, military type shit. He said it. He said well, he's gonna use the military to close down the border and to send back all the so-called illegal immigrants, right? So he's already made it clear. He's already declared where he's gonna stand when he comes in, if and when he comes in. All right, he's letting you know you're not gonna have your so-called freedom because I need to protect the country. I need to bring things back to how it used to be, and in order for that to happen, it has to be ruthless. Look at all these illegals. Look at all this crime. We have to lock things down and clean out and drain out the swamps. All right. So get ready, man. All right. It says another person says Luke Zilski posted, "What is wrong with everyone who is pretending this maniac doesn't want to be a dictator?" Right. So they're highlighting a couple of these opinions in regards to making Trump a dictator or Trump trying to be a dictator. Right, which he has all the makings of a dictator, right? So hey, we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see how things play out. But you know, once again, this is the time of trouble that we've been talking about. You know, and before the time of trouble, you always have that abundance of directions that you can take. But most people don't take it. They don't take the warnings. They don't take heed to the signs. And then when the trouble comes, that's when they all come around looking for signs again. But it's over with. It's over with. All right, you're already at the destination. If you would, the signs was like back there. Well, you could have made that turn, but you didn't do it. You didn't look at it. So now that you've gotten to the crash point where there's all this traffic and accidents and cars crash each other, now you want to look to see if you can turn around. There's only one way. You can't turn around in one way. It's over with. So it's the same lane as prophecy. We're on one way street down to the right path. Right. And those who are not on that path, you're going to find yourself at the crash scene and you're going to want to try to turn around. It's going to be too late.
Yeah. Let's get that in what you just quoted, Jeremiah 30:7.
Yep.
You know, about that time.
Yep.
So things again, they're picking up, man. This year, I mean, we're definitely gonna see what happens getting towards the end. But you know, the events that have even transpired so far out of nowhere. You know, these are not normal events. They're all culminating up to something. Because whenever you get to a point where a decision has to be made, like for example, elections, something has to happen because there's one side that is somewhere trying to get things to go their way versus another side. So that means depending and when it's as desperate as it is now, something drastic has to happen on either side to make sure things go according to plan.
There you go.
So it's not like everything is just gonna be all sweet and subtle. Of course, we gotta watch and see, but you know, you should get the memo by now that whatever happens, whether before or after, the world is moving in that direction. Okay, singing to the tune of prophecy.
There you go. And the time of prophecy that we're in is all evil.
Yep.
As it says in Ezekiel the 7th chapter, an evil and only evil has come. Right? Behold, it has come. And what did Ezra say? Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Right? So those days is what we're approaching, and fast approaching too. See how quick these days are flying nowadays, man? Yeah. Anyway, let's get this real quick. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." All right, so that's the times that we're entering into.
666.
All right, yep, there you go. 666. As we were talking about, Jacob's trouble is a car that passed by that has a license plate that has 666 in it. All right, so again, that's the Lord showing the signs.
That's it.
Right, and what does the 666 represent? The MOTB.
Yep.
Okay, so hey, man, the time of trouble is definitely going to come with its trials, its temptations, ultimately the hour of temptation. But those of the elect, they're going to make it out of it, as it says. But he shall be saved out of it.
That's right.
Right. Revelation 3:10. Right. How Shai said, well, he's going to keep us in the hour of temptation.
That's right.
Right. So hey, man, we praise the Lord all day, every day. You know, for the mercy and grace that He's granted upon His elect. You know, because if it wasn't for that remnant, we would have been as to Sodom and as unto Gomorrah, right? And that's going to be that destruction that's going to take place right here in America, Babylon the Great.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Lord willing, man, you were edified and informed. In closing, we'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha, Kodash, the water Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh Shai. And until next time, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Barakatham, Wa Shalom.
Shalom.